Did you see that?
It's our time with Mr. Mayberry. Hey, let's get creative.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Mayberry.
Before we start, I'd like to tell you a story. One day I walked outside and noticed that the trees that had been empty were suddenly full of leaves, and I couldn't understand it. And then I noticed that they were moving around like the wind was blowing them, but there was no wind. Then there was a loud noise and the leaves just flew off the trees. And that's when I realized they weren't leaves. They were birds. Hundreds of them. It was pretty amazing. Today I'd like to show you how to draw birds sitting in a tree. So let's get started. It's time to make some art. I'm starting with my paper turned vertically, and then I have just a regular pencil to draw with. And the first thing we're going to do is draw a tree. Now, a winter tree is very simple to do. I'm going to start by making the trunk, and for this, most tree trunks are not perfectly straight. There are some that grow really tall and straight, but a lot of the varieties do not. So what we're going to do is draw one that is not perfectly straight. So you can just draw a kind of a rough line going up, and then I'm going to start make it a little wider here at the base, and then it's going to get narrower as it goes up. Okay, so there's my tree trunk, and I'm going to shade that in. And then I want to draw several limbs and branches off to the side. So these you can just kind of do randomly, but the thing to remember is when the branch, it starts wide at the base and gets narrow as it goes out, and it also changes direction as it goes. And when it changes direction, there's often another branch going the other way. So draw branches and branches on branches, and you want to have, for this project today, we're having birds sit on the branches, so you want to make sure you have some horizontal pieces that they can sit on. Alright, so I'm going to do some more up higher here. And let's do some coming off this side. And usually the branches are not right across from each other. That's something else that you'll notice if you study trees or look at trees. Usually they're just a little bit off if they're close together, but they're not perfectly straight right across from each other most of the time. Okay, so you'll draw a tree with lots of branches. That's the first step. Okay, let's go ahead and put a horizon line here in the background, and it doesn't have to be perfectly straight either. But that shows us that the tree is sitting on the ground, and then above the horizon is the sky. Branches going up into the sky. Now, I'm just doing one tree. You could do many trees if you like. That'd be another option. You could also think of other things to put around the tree and draw that as well. But for today, we're just drawing the birds in a tree. Okay, now that we have a tree, let me show you how to draw birds. I'm going to put another piece of paper down, and we're going to draw the close-up of the birds sitting. So I need to have something for them to sit on. So I'm just going to draw a line down here and make a large picture of a bird so you can see how this is done. And then you can, once you know how to do this part, you can go back and put the birds on your tree. Alright, so I'm going to start here with, this is just, if I want to make this more like a branch, I'd make it a little bit thicker, like that. I'll go ahead and shade it in. Okay, so there's the branch. Now for the body of the bird, I'm going to make an oval. So a long circle, in this case a tall circle. And then I want to make the head of the bird. Now the head is going to overlap the body just a little bit. It's covering up part of the body. And the head is a circle. And I want to erase inside the head because we don't see the other line. Okay, so there's the head on the body. Now you can make the bird looking either way. In fact, when we draw them in the tree, you might want to make some looking one way and some looking the other way. And so for today, I think what I'll do is I'll make the bird looking to the left here. So I'm going to draw the letter V turned on its side, or a triangle, looks like a triangle, pointing to the left. Then put a line through the center of the beak, just like that. And we'll draw an eye over here. Here's the outside. And you can have the bird looking up or down. I'm going to make it looking to the left. So I just draw a pupil inside of here, a dark circle. And that's the bird's eye. Actually, this one kind of looks like it's looking up towards the left. I'm going to go ahead and draw this line darker since it's where I want it to be. And the body, I can draw it darker too, since that's not going to change. Okay, next I need to draw the wings. Going to draw the wings, and you just make a curve up and go around the body and come down at the bottom. So that's the left wing, and then the one on the right side curves around like that. Okay, we want to make it look like the bird is gripping on to this branch, so I'm going to make for the foot on the left side, I'm going to make 3 lines that curve around the branch, just dark lines. Looks like that foot is gripping onto the branch. Going to make 3 on the right side and make it look like they're gripping onto the branch. So that's the feet. And then the tail is going to stick out down here below. Now, sometimes when you make a bird sitting on something, you will not be able to see the tail behind. But for this one, you will. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But if you have places or things you want to draw the bird sitting on, and you won't be able to see the tail, that's fine. This is what it would look like without seeing the tail. And then the tail is going to fan out here at the bottom. And you can make it individual feathers underneath here, like I'm doing now, or you could just make it straight across, either one. If you do individual feathers, you might want to make lines then that go back to the body from the end. So I made 3 bumps, one curving down, and then one curving way down, and then one curving the same as this one here. And then drew lines in between these bumps. And there you have the tail feathers. There might even be a second line curving here to show like a stripe on the end of the tail. Now let's see what it looks like when you cover your tree branches with birds. Now these birds are a little bit farther away from us, so I don't have quite as much detail as what I did in the individual one that I just showed you how to draw. You might notice the eyes. I just have the pupils, just the dots, and then also on where the feet are grabbing onto the branches, I just have 2 lines, one for each foot. This is because they're farther away from us and you won't see as much of them. If you use a larger piece of paper, you'll be able to have more detail. Clean up your drawing, have fun, try to see how many birds you can add on this tree. And this is our project for today, birds in a tree. Well, now that you know how to draw a bird sitting in a tree, think of other places the bird could be sitting and draw that. Thanks for coming to art class, and I'll see you next time.
Goodbye, Mr. Mayberry.
294, 295, 296, 200... lost count.